If you've ever dealt with a hot spot on your dog, you know how fast they appear and how miserable they make your dog. One day everything is fine. The next day there's a red, oozing, painful patch that your dog will not leave alone. Summer is hot spot season, and while conventional treatment usually involves steroids, antibiotics, and a cone of shame, I want to talk to you today about what's driving the hot spots and what you can do about it at the root level. I'm Pennye Jones-Napier, a certified holistic pet health coach and founder of Woof Nutrition. A hot spot, technically called acute moist dermatitis, is a rapidly spreading bacterial skin infection. It starts when something triggers your dog to scratch, lick, or chew an area. The skin breaks down, bacteria multiply in the warm, moist environment, and the inflammation spreads faster than the body can control it. Here's what most people don't hear from their vet. The trigger matters enormously. Hotspots don't happen randomly. Something started the cycle. Common triggers include a flea bite or insect sting, an allergic reaction, environmental or dietary, moisture trapped in the coat after swimming or bathing, ear infections that cause a dog to scratch behind their ear, anal gland irritation that causes a dog to chew at their hindquarters, and stress or anxiety. In TCVM terms, hot spots are almost always a manifestation of damp heat and moisture combining in the skin layer. The body is unable to clear the heat through normal channels, and it erupts through the skin. This is why hot spots are a summer condition. Summer generates both the environmental heat and the humidity that create the damp heat pattern. Hot spots are a skin condition with a gut origin. The gut microbiome directly regulates immune function and inflammatory responses throughout the body. This also includes the skin. A compromised gut microbiome produces systemic inflammation that shows up wherever the body is most vulnerable. In dogs with any predisposition to skin issues, that vulnerability is the skin. Summer compounds this in two ways. Heat stress shifts the microbiome towards inflammatory bacterial profiles, and warm-natured foods like chicken add internal heat. This is why dogs on a chicken-based kibble with a disrupted gut microbiome are essentially a hot spot waiting to happen in summer. The dietary approach to hot spot prevention: rotate to cooling proteins, duck, rabbit, turkey, whitefish. Reduce or eliminate chicken as the primary protein if your dog has a history of summer skin issues. Add daily fermented foods. Solutions fermented goat milk and green juju Bams beets provide great probiotic diversity and postbiotics that directly support the skin-gut axis. Increase omega-3 fatty acids. Fish oil or salmon oil support the skin barrier, reduce inflammatory response, and is one of the best long-term investments for a hot spot-prone dog. Prevention is always better than treatment, especially with hot spots, which escalate rapidly. After every swim or bath, dry your dog thoroughly. Moisture trapped under a thick coat, especially in the armpits, groin, ear area, and around the neck, is a hot spot incubator. Don't just towel dry the surface, get into the coat, especially for double-coated breeds. Flea prevention. A single flea bite in a sensitized dog can trigger a hot spot within hours. Make sure your flea prevention is appropriate for summer conditions in your area. Regular grooming, keeping the coat clean, brushed, and appropriately trimmed for summer reduces trapped moisture and debris that feed hot spots. For thick-coated breeds, a summer trim that maintains the coat's insulating function while allowing airflow is worth discussing with your groomer. Address triggers early. If you notice your dog scratching, licking, or chewing, investigate immediately. Catching and addressing the trigger before the skin breaks down is easier than treating an established hot spot. If a hot spot appears despite your prevention efforts, here is the natural first response protocol. Step 1. Clip the fur around the hot spot, gently and carefully to expose the area to air and allow you to see the full extent of it. Moisture and heat are the enemy. Airflow is your ally. Step 2, clean gently with a saline solution. Half a teaspoon of sea salt in 1 cup of warm water or a very dilute chlorhexidine solution. Pat dry thoroughly. Step 3, apply a soothing antimicrobial herbal preparation. Calendula-based sprays or gels are excellent for this. Calendula is cooling, anti-inflammatory, and gentle enough for broken skin. Manuka honey applied topically has significant antimicrobial properties and can be deeply healing on hot spots. Step 4, prevent licking and chewing. I know the cone of shame is nobody's favorite, but breaking the lick, scratch, lick cycle is essential for healing. You could also look at a suit called a Sutical that works well. Step 5, monitor closely. A small spot caught early and treated properly can resolve in 3 to 5 days. A hot spot that's spreading, deepening, and very painful or not responding to natural treatment within 24 to 48 hours needs veterinary attention. Some hot spots require antibiotics, and waiting too long makes the infection harder to resolve. Once you've addressed the hot spot locally, the internal work is what prevents it from coming back. Clear the damp heat pattern. Remove warming foods from the diet, particularly chicken and lamb. Increase cooling and bitter foods. Dandelion leaf, celery, green vegetables, green juju's Bams beets, wild fermented beets and purple cabbage. Supports detox pathways and microbiome diversity. Dandelion leaf or tincture cools and supports the liver, and then support immune regulation. Turkey tail mushroom supports a balanced immune response rather than an overactive inflammatory one. And omega-3 fatty acids daily. Fish oil reduces the inflammatory tone systemically. Solutions fermented goat milk daily. Rebuilds the gut microbiome foundation. If your dog has repeated summer hot spots year after year, that pattern is telling you something about their constitutional tendency towards damp heat. That's a conversation worth having with your holistic vet or health coach, because we can work at the root level rather than chasing symptoms every summer. Hot spots feel sudden and dramatic, but they're almost always the result of a pattern that's been building underneath the surface. Address the gut, address the diet, address the moisture, address the triggers, and you can break the cycle. All the products I mentioned, solutions fermented goat milk, green juju Bams beets, omega-3s, turkey tail mushroom, Suticals, they're all available at the Big Bad Wolf at 6960 Maple Street Northwest in DC and at thebigbadwolf.com. If your dog has a history of hot spots, allergies, or chronic skin conditions, this benefits from a personalized consultation. You can book one at woofnutrition.com. I also go into the full gut-skin protocol in depth inside the member circle this month. Subscribe, drop a comment if your dog has ever had a hot spot, and I'll see you Friday.